Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to today's Bitcoin update for Thursday 10 of March. And it seems like Bitcoin is cornered up just a little bit, but let me talk about the title of the video because mom, I don't want to take a loss. Okay, so what is this? Well, that's a story that I actually shared on Discord as well. So I want to tell you a story number three, basically. And I don't want to look like a loser, okay? So before I dive into the charts, let me tell you something that is cool, which I'm putting in my trading course as well, okay? So all of this is gonna be on my trading course. You can check the link is in the description of this video. So once upon a time, there was a guy called Mr. Y. He's an overconfident prick who likes to throw his weight around, and he never will make his image look bad or look like a loser in front of anyone. He will take all the challenges in life if he faced any, and that's something good about him. Alright, Mr. Y started trading crypto and invested without caring because he thought whatever I do is always right. After he threw in the money and started earning, he saw his balance going up 15%, and he got even way more arrogant and happy and had greed. This thing is gonna go higher because I bought, he said to himself. He told his mom, "Hey mom," and the girlfriend and buddies as well, "I'm winning in crypto." As that 15% was short lived, he didn't cash out and that market started falling. He saw his 15% down to 10%, and he didn't like the idea of taking 10% instead of 15%. He saw, all right, so the market will rally up again, he said. As soon as the next day came, the market rallied down again, and he had 3% profits, but he still didn't care to cash out. The third day, he's at 2% loss, and he didn't want to cash out the loss and kept an ego as his nature is. My mom and girlfriends and friends will make fun of me, he thought as he was biting his big dirty nails because he forgot to cut them out of frustration. 7 days passed by and he saw his balance 50% down, and then he exited, accepted taking 50% just to see the market recovering in a month and going 70% up later. So I want to teach you the main morals of the story, the conclusions here. To cut your loss if you're not sure where the trade is going, okay? Small losses prevent bigger losses, and that's a secret to become a successful trader. Not selling is a loss, is also a solution when you're losing. Ego is the enemy, and that's it. You guys can come to the Discord and react if you love this story right there before I dive into the charts. And now this is in the trading course, of course, if you want to take it, and it's really fun out there. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart here. And one more thing is still on the Discord yesterday on the announcements tabs. What I did was I went to the announcements here, and from there I said that I'm expecting Bitcoin to go sideways, then potentially go up. Okay, potentially go up. I didn't say it's like really gonna go up. Potentially means maybe. Okay, maybe go up. But this was my pick that it consolidates to the sideways and goes up. So I'm gonna dive into the 1 hour time frame here, and I'm gonna tell you a factor that was very similar and why I said potentially go up. So let's go back in time here, and I want to revisit time. So what you saw, this pump that you saw going up like this and consolidating sideways, don't you remember that we had very similar scenario right here where you pumped to the upside and you start to move sideways? But I think it kept going even more higher because you did have an ascending triangle like this, and that technical target was up there. But in here you actually didn't have any ascending triangle, but maybe a diamond chart pattern like this one. And what happened, if I take you back to time, is that I was expecting something very similar to this one. Of course, sideways can break to the downside as well. That's the issue with this one. Okay, so this was sideways movement a little bit. Okay, look at that sideways movement and then pop to the upside and go completely up there. Okay, but this time you didn't do exactly what I was expecting this to happen. Okay, so what all you did is, you started to move to the sideways just like this. You made sideways movement out there, and instead of actually popping to the upside, where did you pop? You pop to the downside. So do expect maybe there could be a little bit of a retest here to the 41,726. Touch this line and then you start to actually go down because it's not looking good once again. you failed to cross a particular resistance. Okay, so right now, at least for this moment, this particular target is not going to be met. Simple put, it's not going to be met. And the chances are now that you actually dump to the downside and make a big wick like you did before. If I dive in into the daily, Bitcoin is nowadays having the habit of making wicks to the downside. I'm going to show you those wicks. And you had one wick right here, you had another wick right there, so you could potentially have one wick by the weekends again, maybe to the 35,000 or 34,000, and then start to move to the upside, because you did actually fail to cross that level, simple put. And now you're actually dumping to the downside. Even on my signals channel, I already signaled them to sell and hold USDT when we were up here at 41,000, nearly 41 levels. I just saw this losing its own crap, and then it went to the downside, and I just knew that this isn't good. This isn't good. But to me, to say that you're still gonna go to 34K is a little bit early, because nonetheless, you're gonna have to lose this particular trend line completely, come down to the trend line, backtest and fail, and then potentially you could even come to $32,000. Okay, you didn't do justice to the movement's Bitcoin. It didn't actually show an interest to continue to go to the upside. Now, one more thing, of course, on the 4-hour time frame, let's do the whole analysis, is that you're now actually putting in three black rows. Okay, you're putting the three black rows, this one right here. So this candlestick closes in the next 59 minutes, and as I'm speaking right now, it's even diving more down. Okay, so you do have 59 more minutes to close the candles, and I expect even more downfall. Now weekend is also approaching, and we do know that weekends are not really good to trade, and normally during the Thursdays you start to move to the downside. Okay, so last time here, when was this one? 3rd of March. I do want to open up the calendar just for a second right there, so that I can see what 3rd of March really was. Okay, so 3rd of March was Thursday, and look, ever since Thursday, even the last time, 3rd of March right here, this candle that you see, this candle, in during Thursdays you actually have the habit to make big red candles. Now today is also Thursday right here, so I'm expecting very similar fractal to play out by the end of the weekend, and then near the weekends, at the start of a new week, you start to move sideways, and then you push to the upside. So very similar situation can happen, because it does make sense for Bitcoin to drop due to weekends. And one more thing is, I was checking the Vanguard as well, and I talked about Vanguard before, and Vanguard seems to like it was pumping a little bit. There's still a little bit of room left for Vanguard to go up to the 272, but Vanguard has a big resistance right here as well. So if it does go a little bit higher, you're gonna see Bitcoin actually going a little bit to the 41,700. I'm gonna tell you why, because let's go back to Bitcoin here. The reason of that 71,000 is of course because of that sideways movement. Okay, the sideways movement that you had. So potentially just go a little bit high when Vanguard goes up to that resistance point. As soon as Vanguard touches that resistance point, Bitcoin touches this resistance point, Vanguard starts to go down, Bitcoin starts to go down as well. And the weekends are not really good. Okay, so you have the Vanguard right here. You just look at that. Okay, so there's a little bit of a room left to actually go a little bit higher, but this is not guaranteed. You can even just fall from here completely and start to go to the downside, because Vanguard is in a continuous downtrend right now, and Bitcoin is going to be mirroring Vanguard, because these are the real world stocks out there that drives the market. Okay, it's just like the way you say that when Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins go up, right? So let's say when Vanguard goes up, Bitcoin goes up. It's just very similar situation right now, because these guys have the information of SPY, S&P 500 different companies as well. Vanguard is actually a good indicator for telling us where Bitcoin direction can be. So even right now, since this one is being rejected, it's actually hard for me to say Bitcoin can survive. And yes, it's still in a downtrend, but one thing you can see clearly on the daily is that you're being restricted at the 10 EMA. Okay, you're being restricted at the 10 EMA. Weekend is very close to us, so even if there was a pump, that would be a very small short-lived pump, and then you start to go to the downside. Now me personally, I did close my trades. Like, yeah, we are on the signals channel, which is kind of premium, but we did actually close the trades. I did give the shout out because this candle that you see can be something very, very, very. I'm gonna tell you. Actually, today I was expecting this 55 EMA to be crossed. Do you see that? So you're not actually crossing the 55 as well. So that's really bad. And I was expecting Bitcoin to just move sideways, hold the 55 as well, and then you start to push to the upside, make a bullish cross. But you've been trying 3 to 4 times. Like this is the first time you try to make that bullish cross and maintain the bullish cross, which you didn't. The second time you try, you didn't. The third time you try, you failed, and this is the fourth time you're trying, you're still failing that one. And I'm expecting this thing to play out the same way this one played out. Let me zoom in here so you can see you had one big green candle and you had what? You had a hanging man. So I'm going to show you the hanging man right here, and this was the hanging man next to a green candle that's bearish. That's bearish candlestick pattern. And let me show you the hanging man. Okay, so hanging man right there, candlestick just like that. Let's go to the images here, and from here you can already see that this was the hanging man. Okay, so the hanging man is where you have this green candle, the next to it is like a red candle that's hanging. That's why it's called hanging man. And from there the price starts to move to the downside. Let's say something like this one again. There's so many countless examples. Yeah, something like this one. So this is a hanging man. So today you could see Bitcoin just go a little bit up like this, but still form that hanging man. I just want you to go to tradingview.com, and I want you to put a focus on Bitcoin. If this one becomes a hanging man, this red candle, then expect from tomorrow you start to go to the downside, because weekend is around the corner as well. So it's not a good idea to trade near the weekends. And remember the story that I just told you right now, that you don't want to keep an ego, and sometimes when you're in a little bit of a loss, cut your losses to save bigger loss. And all of this, once again, you can learn it from the trading course. Just give it a look, place this video, and you're going to learn everything that I'm about to teach you. And today, that's it for the video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.